You are Locked On Heat Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Miami on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up, Heat fans? Que pasa, muchachos y muchachas? My name is Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease. Welcome to your Locked On Heat Postcast. We got a feeling. Tonight's going to be a good night. 119-108. The Pelicans, man. The Pelicans. They came in the Pelicans, and the Heat just beat the Pelicans. Scarface, you know what I'm saying? Tony Montana. Right? And I don't know what's going on here. Let me get a second. There. See if that fixes that. We got a little bit of an issue. Technical difficulties, as my dad used to call them, difficulties. No problem for Heat. Jimmy Butler's back, in case you can't tell by the picture. I'm all over the place with the intro, but I will tell you this. My name's Jim Grieshaber. Call me Grease, G-R-I-E-S, at Jim Grease _ on social media. And your Miami Heat are winners tonight. Winners. 119-108 over the Pelicans. Only the second time all year. First time on the continental United States that the Heat have led from start to finish. Wire to wire. Horn to horn. Buzzer to buzzer. First one was in Mexico City, if you hadn't figured that one out yet, against, I think it was Detroit, maybe Washington. Bam had his best game of the year. And tonight, he might have his second best game of the year. 119-108. How you feeling, Miami? Another Heat win. Let's go. It's your Locked On Heat Postcast, and tonight's episode is brought to you by, there's not a title sponsor in there. We need one. How about that? Please inquire within. Title sponsor needed for all the Locked On, Postcast. It's your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. I don't know what I'm even doing, but I'll tell you this. 119-108 is the final. Tyler Hero knows what he's doing, that's for sure. 32 points for Tyler tonight. Bam! Bam, 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 out of bio. Almost got a triple-double, but another double-double with Bam. And he had, 23, 10, and 9. Tyler, 32 points tonight. He's been smooth as silk. And the last couple of shows, what have I been saying? Tyler's scoring, 25 to 28 points, shooting, 16, 17, 18 shots. Well, tonight, the shots went up into the 20s, and so did the number of points went into the 30s. So Tyler with a big game tonight, and they get the win, and Bam with big fourth quarter. That was the thing for Bam. He did it in the fourth quarter. By the way, Feliz Años, Happy New Year, all y'all. And there's ain't no party like a South Beach party. New Year's Eve, man, in Miami Beach. If those, oh man, all those years that I spent there on the beach, and now you're older, you stay home, you don't do as much, but oh man, those days. But I'll tell you this, there's nothing better than going to a Heat game at the old AAA. It's not the AAA anymore, it's the Kaseya Center. But you know what I'm saying? And they did a good job on Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy scored 34 points. I think he only had 2 in the fourth quarter. But, obviously a different type of scenario for the Pelicans, man. The Pelicans, playing a day after 15 people were killed on the street in New Orleans on Bourbon Street, 3 in the morning. I don't know what kind of sick fill in the blank you'd have to be to, if you saw the video where the dude, took that quick, sharp right turn through the police barricade and before anybody knew what he was doing. Just terrible. So hearts, prayers, thoughts, everything goes out to the victims in New Orleans and all the people who were there. And it just is absolutely despicable, which is what Joe Biden said, despicable. And I agree. That might be the only thing we agree with Joe Biden on. But you know what? I'll tell you this, man. The Heat never trailed in this game. New Orleans has lost 29 of 32 games. They're 1-20 in their last 21 games. They've lost 14 in a row on the road. You know what I'm saying? This is not a good team. You have to beat this team. It's cruise control, man. Jimmy Butler's back. That's a big thing for Miami tonight. You will get more from me on this topic. Un momento, por favor. So, CJ McCollum, 22 for New Orleans, 34 for Murphy. And, it just is, they're not a good team. Zion, bad draft pick, just not going to play. Going to be like a Greg Oden, hurt, injured, then he's out of the league. You know what I mean? But Jimmy Butler, 5 games out. He's been reliable. Jimmy Butler has been dependable his whole career, right? Well, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists in 25 minutes, 3 of 5 shooting, 12 and 9 in games that he's played this season are the Heat. But, 5-game absence and injury here. Oh, I'm ill. Oh, he wants to trade. Oh, we're not going to trade him. We shall see. Jimmy is being cryptic in his responses. The Heat haven't really said anything else, so it is what it is. But we'll talk about that more later on in the show. I really want to break this down and talk about the Jimmy Butler scenario and the situation here with the Miami Heat, because in reality, trading this man at this point in time in his career, and, let's not forget they didn't give him the 2-year, $113 million extension. That, you know what I mean? That's $56.5 million a year, man. Like, these guys feel so disrespected when teams don't just automatically do it. It's like, yo, it's a lot of scratch. Just a lot of scratch when you're talking about. Hold on, there we go. It's not just a lot of scratch when you're talking about paying the guy. It's a lot of cap. And that's the biggest thing with Jimmy Butler's money. I mean, and the Heat with Bam, and then with Tyler really coming into his own this year, you kind of feel like this is not Jimmy Butler's team anymore. And it's not your team, you're not getting paid $56.5 million. I mean, that pretty much is really what it boils down to with Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat right now. Tyler missed his first 4 threes tonight, and he was terrible. Threw a bad lob for Jimmy, but man, oh man, 5 straight makes after that. Tyler's streaky, but what a year he's having. What a year Tyler Hero is having. So 15 in a row on the road now for New Orleans. They've dropped the 100th time in NBA history a team's done that. 15 or more losses in a row on the road. And, it really was the same old song. All around the world, it's the same song. And that's what it was for Miami tonight. They're going to get their steals. They're going to get their deflections. They're going to beat you that way. But tonight's game, and you've noticed it lately, right? And Kel'el Ware's been getting more run. You've noticed it lately where Miami's been getting better in the points in the paint differential. They've been getting better rebounds. It was a big disadvantage early in the year. And now, the points in the paint, it was 56-52 New Orleans tonight. And I know New Orleans stinks. It is what it is. But Miami's been getting better and better and better. And you've noticed, and we don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy, right? We talk about it all the time now because it's the prevailing conversation. But with Bam and Kel'el Ware, I just watch that development of Kel'el Ware. He's going to be a 25, 30-minute a game guy scoring 12 to 14 points and getting you 7, 8, 10 rebounds. And you're seeing that development right in front of your eyes. You love the Heat players. You love the culture. You love day in and day out. You everydayers know this, right? You love that they just keep getting better. What organization, it might be a rhetorical question, but name me an organization that does a better job of developing young talent than the Miami Heat. Or taking guys that hadn't been doing anything, or, retreads, or, guys who have been vagabonds running around the league. Miami does a great job with these reclamation projects. They do an incredible job with guys like Haywood Highsmith. They do an incredible job with rookies and younger guys like Kel'el Ware. But the point is, Ware at 7'1" is developing nicely to be that big guy to where Bam can play power forward more, and that will really allow Bam to use his athleticism. He won't be so undersized against everyone that you know what I mean? So that will be a real nice thing for the Heat to have and to play with and to have in his back pocket for Spo. I mean, pocket aces, you know what I'm talking about? So they're great at developing. Look at Duncan Robinson, so many players through the years, but on this team in particular, Robinson, Highsmith, Alec Burks, you know what I mean? They're so, Drew Smith before he got hurt. So many guys, give us, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry. We will develop them into basketball players, to NBA basketball players. Jaquez, who was a really good player at UCLA, he was a chopped liver, but he comes into the NBA playing for the Miami Heat, get better and better and better day in and day out. And you see the development of these guys, man, and it's a lot of fun. And then you see things like Miami holding their own in the paint, points in the paint, rebounding, offensive rebounding, things that they were getting killed early in the year. They were terrible at home early in the year as well, and now they've won 6 out of 7 and 8 out of 10 at home. So it's a long season. The shooting is going to be, it was terrible for New Orleans tonight. They didn't even make 10 threes, I don't think. Let's see, where's New Orleans? Let me take a peek. Team stats, 3-point percentage, 26% for the Pelicans, man. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. The Pelicans, man. Pelicans get no women. You know what I'm saying? But, seriously, the shooting percentages will go up, they'll go down, they'll dip. But at the end of the day, you're going to look at the effort. You're going to look at the steals, the deflections, the batted balls, the defensive stops. Miami is always near the top of the league and all those things. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you can hang your hat on. It's part of the Spoelstra regime and era for Miami, and Riley handed that down, created it. It's been there from the night I've been there. I've been covering the team since then. I was at practice every day when Pat Riley first took over, and you could just see the evolution and the change, the winds of change, when Pat Riley came in, and you could see that culture being developed from the beginning, and now it's just full-fledged. It's full-fledged. They'll be there in the end. I like this edition of the Miami Heat. I love this locker room. I like these, you know what I mean? They play well together. I don't know what's going to happen with Jimmy. I would love to see cooler heads prevail, wouldn't you? Tell me what you think in the comments, by the way, and smash that subscribe, hit the bell so you know when you get alerts when we're coming your way with more content, more shows, more things like we're doing today. And by the way, BT Dubs, we are the show right after here on YouTube, Locked On Sports Miami, and wherever you get your podcast. After the game's over, you come here and only here. You see this bald, handsome man. That's what you do, okay? Because day by day, and you everydayers know this, you even have a newsletter, those guys do a great job with your Locked On Heat podcast, just like Kyle does with the Dolphins, just like, Wes and David with the Heat, Kyle with the Dolphins, and Alex with the Kings, Peter with the Marlins. After the games, it's your boy. Check it out, by the way. Leroy P. Eli, artist. What do you know about that? Leroy P. Eli. Check it out. E-L-I-E. That's right. All kinds of merchandise and paintings and replicas available, things like that. It's my lady's dad's estate, and it's cool. So, I don't know. People are asking me about the design. So, I'm letting you know. But, hey, 119-108. An 11-point win for your Miami Heat. We have the star of the game coming up, turning point of the game coming up. What did you do on New Year's? I had a good time last night. It's not what it used to be. I used to be rubbing elbows with the Mannings and Lenny Kravitz and Leonardo DiCaprio at what's the name of that place in South Beach? The Delano, the Rose Room. Oh, baby, the Rose Room. That was true. I was in a booth, a banquet right there. Lenny Kravitz on one side, the Mannings over here, DiCaprio's over there. Sometimes in your life, you work your way into a room or to a situation you have no idea how you were able to pull it off. But I'll tell you this, only in Miami, baby. Only in Miami. 119-108, the Heat win tonight. It's your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Grieshaber. Call me Gries, G-R-I-E-S, @ Jim Gries _ Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Feliz Años. And we are very happy to have you with us. We're going to keep it going right here. More about Jimmy Butler on the other side. Tyler Hero, the evolution. I told you, I've been telling you game after game after game, show after show after show lately. Tyler just needs to take 5 more shots a game, and he's going to average 30 points a game. He is going to average 30 points a game. Think about that for 1 second on your Heat Postcast. Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Keeping it rolling right here. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Bang. There we go. And we get a chance to tell you, I am so pumped about this. I cannot believe that so much has gone down in this world. So much has gone down in this world. Oh, man. So much has gone down in this world. But one thing you can count on for sure, no matter what happens, no matter what kind of craziness is going on out there, you come on in here and you're going to get the best coverage, your teams, every day. Locked On Podcast Network. But more than that, we got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. This is the best thing about this network, guys. It's the key to your happiness as a Locked On Podcast Network viewer / listener / subscriber, whatever you are, is the hookups we have for you with the sponsors and the deals they give you. We have some of the best companies in the world, some of the greatest of the greats, and they are giving you incredible deals. Like, for example, this one here. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Rocket RX. You know anything about Rocket RX? If you're ready to boost your confidence and take control in the bedroom, because that's what we need to do. It's in my DNA. Don't let me quote Kendrick Lamar. Anyway, Rocket RX has a solution. Imagine feeling more prepared and performing at your best. Rocket RX makes it simple and stress-free. It's the Rocket RX culture. You know what I'm saying? Rocket RX offers FDA-approved treatments for erectile dysfunction at a lower cost than branded alternatives. No more uncomfortable doctor visits, right? You're sitting there going, oh, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I've heard. I'm not sure. Anyway, pharmacy trips, same thing, right? Everything's delivered straight to your door in discreet, plain packaging with Rocket RX. You'll get trusted care from a real U.S. clinical team. That's very important, right? Complete a quick 100% online consultation, and you could get your free prescription today. Did he say free? Oh my God, did he say free? Let's go, baby. Hey, it's free. Visit rocketrx.com to get started now. That's the way you do it. Play the guitar on the MTV. It only takes 2 minutes right now. That's what she said. Our listeners can get 40% off your first order when you use code LOCKEDONNBA. That's rocketrx.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for 40% off your first order. 40. Wow, 40% of the first order. Terms and conditions apply. Rocket RX, better sex made simple. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And who does not want better sex? And who does not want it to be simple? I mean, let's be real. You want better sex, but you want it to be simple at the same time. And I think that that's really important for everybody. And once you do that, you're all good. You know what I'm saying? Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. And this is your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that little... Okay, how much longer are you going to take to play this? Hey, 10 minutes later. All right, we're doing all right tonight. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being the best part of who we are. It's Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Gries, 119-108. The Heat beat the New Orleans Pelicans tonight. And look, the Pelicans are terrible. They're 5-29. Can you imagine being on a 5-29 team? I don't think I've ever been on a team that bad. Have you? Maybe you can hit me up in the chat and let me know, but I don't think I've ever been on a team that bad, man. 5-29. You're NBA players. This is sad to see what they've gone through. I mean, you got a couple good players on this team, too. You got CJ McCollum. You got Murphy. I mean, I don't even really follow the Pelicans or even think much about them. And why, honestly, would you? But it really is interesting when you think about the Pelicans, right? Let's see. Tyler Hero, 32 points. Okay, let's check out the Pelicans right here. What? Okay, Brandon Ingram. All right, now we're starting to make sense of this whole thing. Brandon Ingram is out and Zion. So if you have Zion and you have Brandon Ingram, you're obviously gonna play a lot better. Did Ingram? Let's see. Ingram? No, Ingram's out. That's what it is. Okay, so Ingram's out and Zion's obviously out. He's always out. So that's what's going to happen there. And for the Heat, Jimmy Butler makes his return, played 25 minutes. So there you have it. And we are into the second segment, which means we got to get our butts moving. And we got the stars of the game. Oh, a little hint, got two there tonight. Turning points of the game, got two of them too. And your final score graphic will get you ready for tomorrow night against the Indiana Pacers. And look, the Heat right now, 17-14. Only the second time this season they've been over 500 by 3 games. And that's nice. They're doing all right. And you can see it taking shape. The effort, the intensity, the deflections, the steals, the hustle plays are always there. And the shooting's always going to be up and down. In today's NBA, you're going to shoot a million threes. When you're making them, you're going to win. When you're not making them, you're going to lose. And then there's everything in between. But all the other things are coming together. All those other intangibles, the way that they're playing with one another, the comfortability that you're seeing develop between these players and the guys that you didn't think would be big parts of this team or the rotation are starting to step up. Other guys who you thought would be better. And look, Rozier's out on the suspension. So you have a lot of things going on here as this team continues to push its way forward into finding and building and growing its identity. So then toward the end of the season, you can hit that stride, really go full steam ahead toward those playoffs and see where it takes you, and I don't really know where that's going to be for this team as of right now. So much still to be determined. What's going to happen with Jimmy? Will they trade him? Where will he go? What would they get back if they did trade him? Would it be De'Aaron Fox? Would you rather have De'Aaron Fox over Jimmy Butler straight up? You thought you had Terry Rozier. He's scoring 24 a game in Charlotte. You bring him in here, maybe not the answer. You thought for sure you could have maybe swiped a second or third team level all NBA dude in that Rozier situation, but maybe not so much. But I don't want to throw in the towel. I'm going to give up on the dude yet. Anyway, let's take a look at what happened here tonight from a numbers standpoint for the Pelicans, man. Trey Murphy the third, 34 points. He had 32 and 3/4. Not so much in the fourth. Yeah, that's why he's not a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I mean, great. He dominated 3/4. Do it in the fourth, then talk to me. And then how about CJ McCollum with 22 points. All right. And then for your Miami, shout out Mike Biamani, Miami Heat. Yeah, the Dunkmeister, 17 points on 7-13 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. Highsmith, 1 for 6, had 2 points. Not a good night for him. Jimmy Z. Butler, coming back tonight with 9 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds in 25 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field for Jimmy. Bam, 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 with a big night. Bam Adebayo, 23 points, 10 assists. He's 1 rebound short of a triple-double, 23, 10, and 9 for Bam. A dominant fourth quarter, scored 8 points in the fourth, did Bam. And then you have, we're holding on for a hero, Tyler Hero, 32 points, 11 of 22 shooting, 5 of 12 from 3. He needs 10 or more three-point attempts per game. He needs to shoot 20 or more shots per game, and he will average, are you ready for this? 30 points a game. Tyler Hero, all right? And that's what we need right now for your Miami Heat. We need that big-time scorer. Jimmy Butler can be a facilitator and a stat stuffer in areas besides scoring, so he can play and beat you in any way. And then, of course, you had Jaquez with 12 tonight. Khalil Ware with 10, 4 of 4 from the floor again. This dude, 5 rebounds, 17 minutes, 4 of 4 from the floor and 5 rebounds. You notice he's playing more and more. I've been saying it. Khalil Ware, watch what happens. He'll be the starting center by the end of the year. They'll be making a playoff run, and this dude will be a key. Watch that I said. Remember that I said that. Watch and remember that I said Khalil Ware will be a big piece of this puzzle moving forward. I love what he's doing. I love his enthusiasm. I love his energy. I love his work ethic. And I know Spo loves him. Spo loves him too. And a double-digit game for him. Jovic only had 8 tonight. It was strange. He's been killing it lately. And in 34 minutes, he only took 6 shots. But Jovic is another guy, man. Watch him. Over these next couple of years, Jovic is going to be better and better and better. Jovic and Ware will be a big part of this team moving forward. I don't know about Duncan, but it's going to be built around Bam and Tyler, and it's going to have big impact from Ware and Jovic. You can see it coming. You can feel it coming. Those guys are going to be really important moving forward in the future. Jaquez, too, for that matter. Those 3 guys down. And they're not going to be superstars, but they're going to be important players on this team. They are. And you notice the one name I didn't say, Jimmy Z. Butler. Not sure what is going on there. This is your Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, wherever you get your podcast. That means Spotify. That means Apple Podcasts. That means iHeart. Plus right here, Locked On Sports Miami. On the YouTube, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, at Jim Grease _ on social media, GRIES. Give me a follow, make you holla. You know what I'm saying? Big one for the Heat tonight, 119-108 over the Pelicans. Real quick before we hit the second break, actually, we'll hit the team stats on the other side. We'll hit the players of the game. We'll hit the turning points, and we will hit the final score graphic before we get you ready for the Indiana Pacers. Tomorrow night, Miami, and a big one for the Dolphins. They win, Broncos lose, and they are in the playoffs. Playoffs, can you believe it? Yes, you can. Still don't know what's going on with Tua. This is Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease. Wrapping it up right about now. After I get a chance to tell you about Rocket Money. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions. We don't tell anybody. It's kind of embarrassing, right? But I didn't realize I was paying for them. And that can be, really discouraging when you find out you're paying for stuff you don't even know, you're not even using, you're double paying for things. Well, guess what? Rocket Money made it so easy for me to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. And who in the blue hell doesn't need that? Rocket Money, a personal finance app, right? Personal is the key there. It helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Also brings everything together in one place, and that's a key for a scatterbrain like me. Whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, even the goals you want to hit this year, Rocket Money has over 5 million users. Count them, 5 million. And to save a total of $500 in canceled subscriptions, saving members, all those were the zeros in the 500 million. In canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. And that really is a lot, right? I mean, that's fantastic when you think about that. It really is fantastic. For me, one of the best features, subscription tracker. I've used it to cancel services I wasn't using anymore, and I've already saved a ton, and I need it. I'm a broadcaster. Plus, with their goals feature, I've been able to automatically set aside money for my future. No more stressing about budgeting every month, and that's very, very important to me. So you know what to do. You know how we do it. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Rocket. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. On the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Locked On Heat Postcast. Real quick, want to remind you, we always do about this time. I go for mine. I got to shine. Throw your hands up in the sky. Your favorite podcast now is a newsletter introducing the star of our show, the Locked On Heat newsletter. Ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox daily. Sign up for free now. LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. Start your day with the all-new Locked On Heat newsletter. It is FREE. That means free. Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, 119-108. We took it through the box score. You know that Tyler Hero had 32 points. Is that a season high for Tyler? Let's see. Tyler Hero season high. Let's take a peek at this real quick. We got time. You guys know we got time. So here's what we're going to do. Tyler Hero season high. And Tyler Hero's season high is 35 in 2023. Oh, that's right. He had 40 in the overtime game against Detroit, and he tied the record for threes. 41 in December of 2022. So he's got a couple 40-point games in his career. This year, his high is 40 points, 10 threes against Detroit. So Tyler with 30, did I say 32 or 34? The technicalities, Jim. All right, here we go. Did I say 32 or 34? Why do I not, every time I don't want it, it's right there. Okay, here we go. So yeah, Tyler, did he have 32 or 34? What did I say? I said 32. 11 of 22 from the floor. A couple of more makes there. Obviously, he's up in the 35-plus range, and, you know, that would be awesome. He's been getting to the line. We've talked a lot about Tyler's improvements to his game, and not just in terms of, obviously, the shooting's gotten better every year. He's shooting a career-high percentage from three right now. The takes to the rim, you know, stronger, faster, with more purpose, with more, what's the word I'm looking for? Looking to inflict as opposed to absorb contact. And I think that's a moment that you get to mentally in the NBA. And we've seen it with a lot of players where you realize, hey, I'm going to get hit anyway. I'm going to deliver the contact rather than absorb it. And I think that's been a big thing for Tyler. His moves off the rock, meaning when he's running through screens and coming off screens and getting the ball, you know, catch and shoot, coming off a curl, coming off a drag, coming off a screen, whatever the case may be, he's been so much better this year. And I really appreciate that from Tyler. The conditioning is there, the strength, he's gotten stronger. He can absorb that contact a lot better and make the free throws, which he's doing. And I really appreciate that about Tyler, and I think he's been great. Anyway, Jim Grieshaber, call me Grease, Locked On Heat Postcast on the Locked On Podcast Network. We'll get there. Indiana tomorrow night. We're almost out of here. Look at Jimmy Butler's back. I don't know what's going to happen with the trade or no trade. You have to get back someone, either a young mercurial talent who you think is going to be a huge star for years with this team for Jimmy, and someone would be stupid enough to trade that away to you for an aging superstar who might not even be a superstar anymore. And that's not a knock on Jimmy. I think he's still a star. But is he a superstar? And how much of his career has been spent legitimately? How much of his career has been spent in that superstar category? Is he a superstar? Now, look, I've always ripped the Sixers because the Sixers, obviously, they kept Embiid, but they kept Tobias Harris, and they kept Ben Simmons, and Jimmy, you can go. Minnesota let Jimmy go. Can you imagine if Minnesota still had Cat and Jimmy Butler with Anthony? I mean, they're not going to go anywhere this year without those guys, and they had them. So my point is, Jimmy is an elite player, but is he still a superstar? Is he still a guy who's going to carry you to the finals, maybe to a chip? I'm asking for a friend. I'm not necessarily telling, I'm asking. And then what would you want back for Jimmy Butler? What would you want back? Who would you want back to make that trade? Who do you think makes the Heat that much better? Because this incarnation of this team, the way it plays right now, the way it is developing and the way things are going this season for Miami. And thank you, by the way, that the numbers are going up. The audience is soaring. Make sure you hit that subscribe, please, for us, and the bell and all those things so you know we're coming your way. But the thing about this Miami Heat team is they're going in the direction of Bam and Tyler. Tyler's growing and building. Bam's locker room and Tyler's team. It is. It's becoming that more and more. So if that's the case, what's the deal with Jimmy Butler? Is Jimmy Butler not a better player than Tyler Hero? That's not what I'm saying. But they're going in the direction of Tyler being the guy on the court, Bam's being the guy in the locker room. What do you need Jimmy for? Especially at $56.5 million a year. There's contention there. Riley's saying we're not trading him. Jimmy and the organization maybe not getting along. It's not at its best point right now, the relationship. But food for thought, right? We like to be nourished. Food for thought. Is this Jimmy Butler's team anymore? Is it? Fair question, right? Or is it Tyler's? I say it's Tyler's. And I say it's Bam's locker room. And I say it's Riley's culture with Spoelstra pulling the strings. Where is there room for Jimmy to be the guy, the alpha, the face of the franchise? That matters. That's everything to a guy like him. To a team like that, who's the guy? Jimmy's a superstar. You take a poll of players around the league and say, who's the face of your franchise? Who's the star player, Jimmy or Tyler Hero? They'll laugh you out of the room. But the Heat are not thinking that way, and they're not feeling that way. They are not. Jimmy Butler, I believe Jimmy's going to be gone. You'll see. But it's not his team anymore. It's not his locker room. It's Bam's locker room. It's Tyler's team. It's Tyler's team on the floor. He's going to be the one taking the big shots, not Jimmy. How's that going to play out? We shall see. But there's one more thing before we go that we got to get to. And they play the Pacers tomorrow night. But we are here to hit you. We got a bunch of them tonight. Yeah. We got your final score graphic. We got your players of the game. We got your turning points. And we're going to hit you right now with the final score. 119-108. They beat the New Orleans Pelicans, mate. Look at Jovic. I can't believe he didn't score double figures. They had 5 guys in double figures tonight, but Jovic not one of them. He had 8. Is that an 8? That's an 8. 8 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds. I'm telling you, this kid and Kel'el Ware, who had 10 points, 4 for 4 shooting, and 5 rebounds in 17 minutes, these two guys are going to be a big part with Jaquez and Jovic and Ware are going to be 3 of that 8 or 9-man rotation for the Heat for a long time. Really excited. And Duncan's going to be in there, and Tyler's going to be in there, and Bam, and I just don't think it's Jimmy's team anymore. All right. Real quick on the team stats. We didn't hit the team stats yet. And there's the final score. And really, when you're looking at the score, look, you shoot 53%. You shot 41% from 3. The Pelicans shot 50% and 26% from 3. There's a big difference in the game. The Heat with 5 more made threes. They won by 11 points. I could just end the story. But it goes a little deeper than that with your Miami Heat. And as you know, they've been evolving. They've been growing. The free throws, 19 of 22 for New Orleans, 17 of 21 for Miami, about even there. You know, and the rebounds, 38-31, Miami with a 7-rebound advantage. The assists, Miami had 9 more, 34-25. Yeah, the turnovers about even, you know. Fast break points, 21-8 for New Orleans. Points in the paint, 56-52 for the Pelicans. And the largest lead was 17 for Miami. And again, New Orleans never led in this game. All right, there's your final score, 119-108. Let's take a look at the moment. Here's moment number 1. Jimmy Z. Butler back in the lineup, out 5 games. He was ill, time to get ill. And then the trade rumors and everything else. And look, you know, everybody's talking again. The communication lines are open, and we shall see. All right, the real moment actually took place in the game. They never trailed at all tonight, wire to wire, for the second time this season. Look at Kel'el Ware throwing it down, 7 feet 1 inch. That's a lot of ink on there. All right, you ready for the stars of our show? The stars of our show, Miami, would be numero uno, Bam. Bam, 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 Adebayo. I love him. You guys know I'm unapologetic about that love. 23 points, 10 assists, 9 rebounds. Just a rebound shy of a triple-double. And Bam's laying those double-doubles up like nothing. But man, oh man, 1 more rebound. And he would have had a triple-double tonight. 8 points in the 4th quarter. Nice job by Bam Adebayo. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, the star of our show is... Yeah, we need a hero. 32 points for Tyler tonight. Look, 11 of 22 from the floor, right? 11 of 22 from the floor for Tyler. And then when you're talking about the threes, 5 of 12. Or is that 6 of 12? It's 5 of 12. He didn't stuff the stat sheet tonight. He had 4 assists, 1 rebound. But tonight they needed him to shoot, and he did just that. And it was a nice job by Tyler Hero in this game tonight. It really was. Miami was up 12 at the end of the first quarter. They just never looked back, even though the Pelicans outscored them by 7 in the second. Miami just consistent tonight. You know what I'm saying? And a good job by Tyler Hero. It wasn't the higher scorer in the game. That was Trey Murphy the third. But look at Tyler Hero there. What a year he's having. Don't forget, smash that subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when we're coming your way with more content. And engage with us in the chat. Come on in, say what's up. Let us know how you're feeling about your team, especially you everydayers. I mean, you're investing so much into this team. What do you think? Is it Jimmy's team anymore? I don't think so, man. I do not think so. I do believe we're holding on for a hero. And it's going to be Jimmy's. I think Jimmy's going to get traded. I didn't think so a couple days ago. But my sources, I love when media guys, my sources have told me, don't tell anyone. You have no sources, bro. But anyway, Jimmy Butler's gone. He's as good as gone. And I think that's going to be the case for your Miami Heat, but they're really finding their identity as a team. They're playing Indiana. Indiana loves to stretch the floor and shoot the three. I mean, what team doesn't? It's the NBA in 2025. But I'll say this, man. This Miami Heat team is really coming together. I've said it all year long. They're not a play-in team. You're going to see Jaquez and Kel'el Ware, and you're going to see Jovic. Those three guys are going to be a big part of the rotation as the year goes on. And I don't know about Jimmy, but with Tyler and with Bam, with Kel'el Ware playing better in the middle, and you have Bam being able to move around and play those forward spots, that's going to really change things around for Miami. So I'm excited to see how that all plays out. That's all there is, Heat fans. There is no more. 119-108, the Heaters beat the New Orleans Pelicans to go to 17-14 on the season. Second time all year they've been 3 games over 500. Nice job by Miami. You see that growth. You see it coming. Jimmy Butler's back off the illness, off the injury, off the trade talks, whatever the case may be. And Tyler Hero with a 30-point game tonight. Get used to it. It's coming a lot more frequently from Tyler. Bam misses a triple-double by 1 rebound, had the 10 assists and the 23 points. Nice game all around for Miami against probably the worst team in the league. You should pound them, and they did. We will be back here tomorrow night when the Heat play the Pacers right after the game. We'll be here with your Heat postcast. Don't forget the Dolphins this week against the Jets on Sunday. Right after that game, win and then get a Denver loss to Kansas City on the road, and they are in the playoffs. So we got Heat coming up tomorrow, Heat again on Friday, and then we got today's Wednesday. Heat again on Saturday, and then you got on Sunday your Miami Dolphins, the greatest football team. They take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. But the Heat, 17-14, 3 over 500 again, and a nice job by them tonight to pick up a win that you knew they were going to get against the team they had to beat, and they did. Jim Grieshaber, call me Gries, Gries, at Jim Gries _ on social media. Keep your game tight and your mind right, Heat fans. I'm out.